Well, so what are we gonna do today, Cousin BW?
The same thing we do every day, Melvin. Try to take over the neighborhood.
Hey y'all, Bloodwing here, back to bring some grumpiness to your internet. This video is going to be a little bit different. On what was Christmas Day here in the States, Bering released a video titled Heal Yourself from Your Toxic Whiteness. And it was about a program that he found online, promoted by a feminist group, that if you enrolled in this program is supposed to help you shed yourself of your toxic whiteness. At the end of that video, he supplied a link to the PDF file that he had taken of that and invited other creators to look at it, respond, and link him in, which is what I'm going to do here. Now, this file is very large, and there's no way that I can hit on every point in it. Well, those of you that follow me know that yes, I could. But since this is going to Bering, I'm going to try to keep it as short as my old butt is capable of doing. So let's jump right into this, shall we? Now I'm going to start by reading the opening paragraph, just as Bering did. But as you can see, I've highlighted one particular portion that I do want to focus on. But we'll read through this opening paragraph here real quick. Everyday Feminism presents Healing from Toxic Whiteness, an online training program for white people committed to racial justice. If there was ever a time in recent history for white people to take action to end racism, this is it. The election of Trump has shaken white people's understanding of racism to its core. It's revealed what many people of color have known and had been naming for generations, that the U.S. has deeply normalized white supremacy and is built on a foundation of systemic oppression. As a white person dedicated to social justice, you've known how racist Trump's campaign has been. But perhaps you didn't know how capable so many white people, perhaps including your own family and friends, were of electing him. You may be finding yourself coming to terms with just how prevalent and harmful white supremacy is, and how your white privilege has kept you ignorant and in denial of this reality in the first place. So when Trump's policies start rolling out, you know you want to be fighting alongside people of color. But you also know that you may feel frozen in place by the feelings of shock, confusion, denial, and guilt that many white people have been dealing with since the election. It's understandable for white people to have those feelings as they begin to notice we don't live in a post-racial society as we've been taught, and how pervasive systemic racism actually is. You just don't want those feelings to stop you from taking action. This starts with not running away from the racism that exists both within yourself and your communities. Instead, it means acknowledging it. And that is a painful process. With our unique compassionate activism approach, you can learn how to hold that pain of racism in a way that's healing and comes from a place of love and justice. Cue the kumbaya. That way you become increasingly free to take action against white supremacy from a sense of wholeness and shared humanity. Now first, let me fight my gag reflex so I don't puke here. And it's pretty evident. We can all see who this is pointed at. All the snowflakes out there, you know, the ones that pitched a fit when Trump was elected. But I love how they're speaking for the whole white race. How white people, you know, are all upset and in denial. You know, I'm glad they speak for all of us. You know, because as I recall, a lot of white people voted for Trump, and I doubt they're feeling too much remorse. Not yet, anyway. He hasn't even taken office. It's too soon to be feeling any remorse or regret. But I wanted to point out that highlighted part and reread that. So when Trump's policies start rolling out, you know you want to be fighting alongside people of color. He hasn't even released any of his policies yet. He hasn't taken office, and you're already planning on fighting him, and you want to be fighting alongside people of color. I love how they segregate. You know, I love how these people segregate. They want to point the finger at our side and say that we're racist, but in reality it's really them, because they separate everybody by their color or their gender, and they have their identity politics. But you also know that you may feel frozen in place by the feelings of shock, confusion, denial, and guilt that many white people have been dealing with since the election. Yeah, only the snowflakes people are dealing with any of those emotions at this point. And please, for the love of Pete, quit speaking for me. Skip on down to the section here that's titled, as you think about what you personally can do to address racism, you may find yourself wrestling with questions like, and as you see, I've highlighted one. Like I said, I can't hit on every point, so I'm going to just pick out some things here and there. How can I make sure I don't accidentally say something that's racist and hurts people I care about?
Wait, Cousin BW. I don't get it. Is this a saying that I can accidentally be a racist? Why, that's just dumb.
Melvin, you are proof positive that even a blind squirrel can find a nut once in a while. You are absolutely correct. The idea of accidentally racist is just monumentally stupid. What, did they walk down the road, stumble in a ditch by accident, and we go, oh, now I'm racist? Jeez, oh Pete, by the very definition that you can look up online, the one that they love to twist around to fit their own narrative, it would denote something that is active, that is of a purpose, purposely putting down and keeping down another race because of your supposed superiority. That's in the definition. You can't accidentally feel superior. It's just not going to happen. Now, can you have some racist attitudes without being aware they're racist? Maybe. But accidentally, it's just not going to happen. So let's skip on down a little bit. Down under the heading of what then do white people need to do to fully engage in anti-racism work. While white people are not inherently or inevitably racist, they are all raised in societies built on systemic racism and have been bombarded since birth with conflicting messages that teach them to. So they admit that they were not inherently racist or inevitably racist, that that's not the ultimate end. But yet they're claiming we all are racist. As double talk, they're talking out of both sides of their mouth there. White man speaketh with forked tongue. That just doesn't match. We can't all be racist, but yet not inevitably be racist. That just doesn't make any sense. But they admit that we're not inherently racist, but that say we're all of us. Now, I'm white, for those of you that couldn't figure it out. All of us were raised in societies built on systemic racism. So, what if that was true? And let me tell you something. I lived through the civil rights era. I'm an old guy. I lived through that era, and I've seen real systemic racism. And you know what? It doesn't exist anymore. It's not there. It's a figment of their imagination. It was gotten rid of, and gotten rid of handily. It's gone, and gone forever. So having lived through it, I possibly could have been raised under systemic racism. Well, let me tell you something. My father was raised in the South just after he was born in 1939, so just at the end of the Depression, and at the beginning, just before the beginning of World War II. And he was raised in the Deep South, and he was racist. And that was the culture. He was taught to be racist. They didn't think anything of it. But once he realized that racist attitude was wrong, and it wasn't by accident, he didn't accidentally racist, he was actively racist. But what he did, he didn't come to a conclusion that he was accidentally doing it. He came to a conclusion that his ideals were wrong. And so when he started having children, myself being the oldest among them, he made a purposeful effort to not raise us with any racist attitudes. And I think he done a very good job of it. And he did it because he knew that racism is learned. It doesn't come natural. It's learned behavior. And once you have it, it's very difficult to get rid of. So if anyone is truly racist, this rinky-dink little program ain't going to help them get rid of it. I want to see him go out and get the Grand Wizard, or whatever they're called, of the KKK, put him through this program and see what happens. He's going to laugh through the entire program. Then he goes on to say, think and act in racist ways that personally benefit them at the expense of communities of color. Why must something that benefits a white man have to be at the expense of people of color? Why does, one have to equal the other? Why does one have to go hand in hand with the other? Why can't I have a benefit that they have too? Which is what I believe the world is like. I believe I have benefits that the black man has, that the red man has, that the yellow man has, the brown man has. I don't believe I have benefits that come at the expense. Now, there's arguments that could be made to the other way around. There's a thing called affirmative action that doesn't do me as a white man any good. I get no benefit from it. None. But black people do. Other people of color do. Women do. So, if I have a benefit, it didn't come on at their expense. It didn't come on their back. Those two don't have to go hand in hand. You're reaching. This means the question needs to shift from, am I a racist, to how will I work towards undoing the racism I was raised with and have internalized? So what they're saying is we have to shift our mind think. We have to go through a paradigm shift and quit thinking, am I a racist? Which I don't think, actually, because I know I'm not. So I don't have to think about it. To immediately acknowledging that we're a racist, and how am I going to fix that, since I was raised with all of this and it's internalized, it's inside me. I don't know that it's inside of me, but it's inside of me there somewhere. Hey, where you at? I don't see you. You're under there. Oh, makes me think of some of those horror movies of slugs and parasites crawling under the skin of the victim. It's their internalized racism. The desire is to not be racist. The desire to not be racist is not enough by itself to stop someone from being a racist. I'm a smoker. I've smoked for 44 years. It's probably close to twice as long as some of you are old out there. And the first step for me to quit smoking would be, I have to want to. I have to have a desire. Now, the desire in and of itself, No, not enough. But it's a necessary first step. And without the desire, you're not going to go on and take the rest of the steps. You know? But I understand what they're saying. What they're talking about is when you go, oh, I'm not a racist, I'm not a racist. They're saying that's not enough to make you not a racist. I'm glad they know me much better than I seem to know myself. And I could have went on and on. I had several more picked out, but this video would have ended up being about 45 minutes long if I kept going, because there was just so much wrong with this site. So, what's my take on it? It is so outrageous and so ridiculous that if I did not know better, I would have thought it was a Poe. It's really that ridiculous. I really would think it was a Poe. There's so many contradictions and so many over-exaggerated stereotypes that it could easily have been a Poe. But I know it's not. Now, before I cut this video off, I'm going to point out this lady. Now, they're always telling us that we can't understand people of color's struggles because we're white. Then wouldn't the same go for them? Yeah, she looks like she really understands what it's like to be white to me. Don't she, you? Hey, and let's not forget, this can all be had for easy 3 installment payments. Yes, sirree. Of course, we can't let you have this great learning tool for free to help the human race. But they're 3 easy payments. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this, and if you're seeing this from over in Bearing's channel, please come like and subscribe. My name is Bloodwing. It's been real. And now, get out of my yard.
All the small things, true care, truth brings. I'll take one lift, your right, best trip. Always I know you'll be at my show, watching, waiting, commiserating. Say it ain't so, I will not go. Turn those lights off and carry me home. Late night, come home, work sucks, I know. She left me roses by the stairs. Surprises let me know